Hey all, Bill in Virginia, and a little update on the N scale layout that I've been working on here the past few weeks. Starting scenery and starting to get cork in position and getting a few structures built, basically a bridge, an old Helgen kit. Got it put together Friday night and put on this morning. Worked out pretty good. Got some Krylon paint that is camouflage brown. Painted the bridge itself. Gives it a nice darker color than that sort of shiny light brown wood that the kit originally came in. I think it looks pretty good. I'll do some weathering on it with some diluted white to kind of give it a little bit of a gray cast before I'm done. Also been starting to get the river scene in. You can see I've got it carved through the foam. I do have the foam board glued down onto the layout frame. Did that earlier today as well. You can see I had an earthquake as I've got a freight train all over the tracks. moving the foam board around a little bit as I was gluing it, and well, that train just didn't make it. Right over here is my major mountain on the layout. Still got a lot of work to do on it yet. Got to put tunnel portals in. I've got to actually put more cork road bed down, get everything glued in place, put some feeders on the inside. The top of this mountain comes off. So right now I don't have it glued down, so I can lift that big piece off and get access. When I'm all done with it, I have it so I can reach in, get access if I do have any issues with trains in there. Also, even though it's kind of hard to see because it's dark, is I can use that as a storage area. So I'll be able to put a little bit of excess odds and ends in there, and as long as it's not too weighted, to kind of put stuff away and keep it out of my cupboards. Coming back this way a little bit, again using more of the pink foam board, kind of coming along. And then I start to get into another area where I was originally talking about having a scenic divider. More pink foam board coming along in here. I'll have some retaining wall type items, things to make it look good as I hit that rise. And then another mountain kind of off on this side. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to pause the video. I'll move the table a little bit so I can get around and kind of get a look at it from the other side. All right, on the other side of the layout, you can see where I'm going to have tracks going in through this little peak. I will use a rasp so that I can shape the foam board, and I will plug holes and gaps and smooth transitions on the areas for the pieces. The top of the mountain is not done yet. I do have some more foam board. I am going to bring it up ever so slightly, but I do have to contend with the cabinets. And let's see, you can go over here, and you can see as I slide it in, I'm not going to have much of any space. Maybe a ½ inch or an inch. So I can't bring the back end up. I can bring the front end up. But when this is all done, this is going to be heavily forested. Lots of trees, some rock formations, outcrops, a lot more scenic detail. Maybe a farm or something up on top that's serviced by roads coming in from, again, off scene. Coming again, more of the river scene, coming through gullies coming into the river. Again, the train wreck from earlier today. Another tunnel portal here. I'll have a couple of these sort of sitting somewhere in there, somewhere like this. And then I've still got things to build in off of here, but hey, I'm making headway. I'm having a blast. It's been fun. The N scale is proving to be a fun challenge. It's been a long time since I've done anything in N scale, and I'm enjoying it. Probably the last N scale that I am going to work on, though. My eyes just are not that good anymore. it's going to be HO or larger as I move into the future. All right, that's it on the overview. I'll probably get a little bit more video and put on this of some trains running, but that'll be tomorrow. All right, I am going to run some trains. It is Sunday night, and I've been putting cork down today. I've got the main line completed. I've got all of the cork glued down. I still have to work on the track. I've not got the track put in place yet, permanently anyway. I've got to go in and add feeders. I've got a bunch of ready-made feeders tied into joiners, and I'm going to be using those and get power across all of the layout. Also, I've cleaned the track a little bit, so we'll see how it runs. You can also see the mountaintop is off. I took that off just as I was taking care of the track work on the inside. The rest of it is just sitting behind me here. When I run a couple of trains through, make sure it's going to run pretty well, I'm going to just set the top back on, and we'll see what happens here. Next little snippet is going to be trains running. And one last little piece of video before I wrap it up today. I figured out what I'm going to do up here. It kind of came to me as I was reminiscing about driving through some of the mountains in Pennsylvania and some of the other areas up there, where you get into some of the hill or valley areas and you'd have cities kind of up high or down low. So I'm going to make this a city scene, kind of coming across here. Have some buildings, have a little out area, just kind of hanging on the edge of the cliffs and sides of the hills. A little street and just a few things here. Enough stuff coming up to about here so it fits underneath the cabinets, but that's kind of what I figured I'm going to do. The area's down there. That's going to be an industrial area already. That area over there is going to be an industrial area, and I'll have a few buildings in and through there as well. So I think that's going to work. It should make this look really interesting when I get farther along.